Hi, good morning. Welcome back to Keeping Critters. So this morning, I wanted to share with you what I got in the mail yesterday, and what we're gonna do with it. Actually, I already did it. Thought I was already videotaping, but I was not. But I'll go through what I did, and show you what's going on. So, we ordered from Amazon the Reptibator, and it's just a commercial, or not commercial, but it's a pre-made incubator for the eggs. You don't have to do that. A lot of people build their own using a styrofoam cooler, and I'll show you how that's even possible. So let me show you what we got real quick. So this is the Reptibator. And what it is it's a digital incubator. So it tells us on the left the temperature is 69 and the humidity level right now in here is 63. And I just had the lid off of it, putting my eggs in there. But this piece here, just styrofoam, and then it has a clear lid on it, and then you can see the heating element inside of it. And then it has this probe that sits down at the same level as the egg, so you know exactly what temperature it is down there, and not just what temperature it is up at the top. So what we did was, here's its box. This is by Zoomed. It's called the Reptibator Digital Egg Incubator. We were keeping our eggs down here. So this is a shelf underneath Penelope. It maintains a pretty constant temperature. We, of course, had our thermometer on it. It was reading at about 72.7, so it was a little bit warmer here, pretty consistent and dark. So we had them there, but we knew that we really wanted to ensure our chances of a good clutch. So we took them. I moved them this morning very gently. We don't want them to roll around on us. And what I did was I stuck them in here. So down in here, I don't know if we're gonna be able to see through this top. I might actually move it a little bit and let you guys get a peek of what's in here. So here's our little eggs. Up here in the corner, so they were laid on 6-1. We had 35 eggs and Penelope's the mom. You can tell there's a little bit of humidity in that box. So I'm gonna shut it again. So you can see we have a slight temperature drop, of course the humidity whenever we move the lid. And the benefit to this is we have a clear lid. So we don't have to continuously take the lid off in order to see what's going on with the eggs. Could make sure they're okay. So down in there, you can see there's like a little egg crate type thing. It's actually a sponge. And then underneath that, there's some wells where you can put water. So I put a little bit of water in there. I did spray the sponge down, wanted to make sure the humidity in here was pretty close to the humidity that's already in our container we have the eggs in. So a lot of people create their own incubators, and you can do that because this is just styrofoam. So they use a styrofoam cooler, and then they put a heating element of some type in it, and then they put the lid on there so it keeps it dark, and it keeps it moist and it keeps it warm. So you don't have to go all out and buy this type of system. We just felt like this is the way we wanted to go. So then what I did was, here's my little notebook. In my notebook, very first one is Penelope. So I've marked the date that she laid them, how many were in their clutch, what type of Panther she is, and I even wrote that she finished at 2:30 a.m. So, and the reason why I did all of that, let me turn you back around so you can see me here. Okay, so I got you turned around. So what we did was provide Penelope with a laying box. And so what happens with chameleons is they spend their lives in trees. They're tree dwellers. They do visit the bottom of their cages once in a great while, but then you'll see them go back up onto their branches. When they get ready to lay eggs, it's a bit different. So what happens is they go to the bottom of the cage or the forest floor and they start digging holes. So what I'd like to be able to do is to document when they start that type of behavior. That way we can track from clutch to clutch, how long does it take her to lay eggs? Then we have a better idea if they're having trouble. So Penelope took probably 5, 6, 7 days. And so what she did, she'd go to the bottom of the cage, she did a fantastic hole, and then she'd cover it back up and go back up to the top. So we spent a lot of time going, is she laying eggs? No, not today. So the day she decided to lay the eggs, she spent all day at the bottom of the cage, digging hole. She started at the front of the box, then she moved to the back of the box. And the back of the box is actually where she decided to lay in the end. About 9 o'clock or so, I had gone up to bed, but they noticed that she was backed into the hole, which is usually a good sign. So they back into their hole and they lay their clutch of eggs. When they're finished, they cover it back up. And the first few layers of dirt, they pack in there. So I'll show you with Charlotte, who is gonna lay eggs in about 2 weeks, what that looks like when we get the eggs out. So the first layer is pretty packed, and then on top of that, she just throws the rest of the dirt. So about 2:30 in the morning, she came back up. And so that's when Brandon and Mike realized that she had laid the eggs and she was finished, and they're exhausted. So she was so tired. They typically move kind of slow anyway, but you can tell when they're finished laying eggs. They're, definitely just gave birth. So Mike helped her out, got her a little bit of water, kind of helped brush her off some, because of course she had dirt all over. So then in the morning when I got up, realized that when Mike got up, she had laid eggs. I took her to the sink and gave her a shower. So I used a makeup brush, and I'll show you what the brushes look like when we do Charlotte. They're girls, so I don't use paintbrushes, we use makeup brushes. So anyway, I used the brush, got all the dirt off of her face and everything else, and then had her in water, giving her a shower for quite some time. They're really, really thirsty. So she had drank quite a bit with Mike in the middle of the night, and then she spent about 15-20 minutes with me in the morning, still drinking. We made sure right away Mike gave her some crickets. And then again, we fed her again in the morning because they're really hungry at that point too. They don't eat or drink as much. They're spending a lot of time going up and down in their cages. And then of course, it took her 5 or 6 hours, which is pretty good actually, to lay that clutch of eggs. So she was exhausted. And so then what we did was we took her laying box, and then we took the eggs out of there, put them in the medium that you just saw. And when we do Charlotte, so I'm just kind of brushing by some of this stuff. When we do Charlottes, I'll show you from beginning to end exactly what we do to set up for it. When we take the eggs out, I'll show you a video of that. And then the medium that we keep them in, and all of that stuff. So, anyway, Penelope's doing great right now. So I'll give you another peek at Penelope here real quick. Over here. So Penelope this morning, here she is. She's actually been over, had some water. Now she's coming back up and sunning herself. She's a beautiful bright color this morning, which is fabulous. She looks great. She's staring at us right now going, why do you keep videotaping me first thing in the morning? Anyway, I just wanted to kind of share what we've got going on with eggs at the moment. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and we'll keep checking in on the eggs, and we'll talk about how long before we have babies. And I'll give you a hint, it's pretty much the same as humans. So thanks, have a great day.